Good morning, YouTube Nation. Today we got Madden 25 training camp. This is one of the most important training camps of all. This is, offensive reading the defense 101, and we're going to talk a little bit about post-snap reads. We all know pre-snap, what we've been looking for. We had already discussed that. Let's talk about post-snap. And I actually read this article on smartfootball.com. I'll try and put a link to it in the description here. But one of the things that they were talking about was a box. And to show this, I'm going to use the dime flat formation. Or not the dime flat, but the nickel normal, the dime, or the 4-3. It all kind of shows it pretty well. But you see if you're looking at this right now, you see the nickel normal formation here. You see that if you look at 54, 21, 26, and 55, you see how they form a little box there. And what they're talking about here is, in order to determine the coverage that a defense is in, you want to read the box or the safeties, and where the safeties go to the field. So, like, for example, if you take a look here, if you look at this cover 4, you see both safeties drop deep. That also occurs from a cover 2 and a 2-man under. They all drop deep. So then your next read from that read, you would read the corners on the outside, whether they're in flat zones, deep zones, or manned up. And that's going to let you determine where you're going to throw the football now. So we see the two high safeties. Let's take a look at cover 1 here. So we have cover 1 to our left here. You see one safety drops back, and then what the other safety is going to do is he's going to run at the line of scrimmage. This is going to give you a recognition whether it be cover 3 or cover 1 or a cover 0. Those are the 3 types of coverages you can have if that happens post snap. So, for example, you would just read whatever it is, and then you would read that safety. So you read your first safety goes high, and you want to look at the other safety to see if he's going to man up on a guy, if he's going to go to a zone, or if he's blitzing. That kind of thing is what you want to take a look at. Okay, so in this case, he'd be manned up. One other thing I want to talk about is cover 6. That's something I need to hit on. Most people don't think cover 6 applies, but you see we have the 3 strong cloud and the cover 6, both are the same kind of deal. You see how the safeties shift into a cover 3 type of a set, but what happens is one of the corners stays in the flat, so they both shift deep. So this is going to initially look like a cover 2, and it's going to turn into a cover 3 because of that that invert, that type of a coverage, the flow coverage. So what you would do in this scenario is you would attack the defense as if it was a zone, and you would also attack the defense as if it was a cover 2, because the window of opportunity on the right side of the field in between the flat zone and the deep blue is the same as a window of a cover 2 type of a shell. So we take a look at that, and then like I said, once you read those safeties doing that, you just look to the corners to see what they're doing. You know that the coverage is 3 deep, that kind of thing. Now, last thing I wanted to hit on was a zone blitz. So here, take a look at this buck slant 3. You see this buck slant 3 here, we have the safeties into a cover 3 type shell, and then when we look to the corners, they're going back, and then when we look to the linebackers, they're now blitzing, so we know that we have the flats open. So that's kind of the things you want to read quick, and you want to read, this is all going to have to happen in about 2 to 3 seconds. So if you can kind of imagine, that's kind of what we're trying to do offensively. So I'm just going to come out and show you guys this, and I'm going to come out in the cover 6. Offensively, I'm going to come out in the curl flats from Arizona playbook. Okay, so if we baseline this formation and we press this formation so that it looks the same, you see that we're in the 3 strong cloud here, so we're just going to set up our play from curl flats. And now, if it's a cover 2, if it's any kind of zone except for a cover 2 sink, I have curl flats open on the right side. If it's a cover 0 blitz, I have Martin open there. If it's a man-to-man coverage of any sort, I have Ben open on the motion step fade, and then my check down is my drag. So, what I'm looking for at the snap of this ball is initially I'm going to look for 2 high safeties, so I know that I need to be aware that it could be a cover 2 type of coverage. A lot of people are baseline pressing their coverages, so what I'm also looking for is the positioning. If you take a look here, if we unbaseline, you see how the corners stack a little more to the outside, and then when we baseline, they come in. And basically, we'd have to press it, and then you see how they're inside. So if they're inside like this, I'm immediately thinking zone coverage, because a lot of people are not doing that out of 2-man under. I'm also thinking that it's not a cover 2 or cover 3 type of a shell. So it means that I'm not going to get pressed on either side of the field because of the way even if they're in man coverage, I don't think that it presses. Let me just take a look here. Take a look at the right corner and we'll see if he presses here. He actually does, but you see it's not the same as a 2-man under type of a press, and that immediately gives you a tell that it's cover 0 anyway. So I say all that to say this: if they base align, if they press, if I can read that pre-snap, what that tells me is that they're in some type of a zone. So immediately, once I see that what the safeties are doing, I can tell where I can attack on the field. So here, I'm motioning my guy in. I see that they're in this type of a zone, so I know I can hit my out route on the right side of the field because that's a curl flat area in between the safety that's going into the deep blue and the flat route that's staying down. Now we're going to touch on cover 3, base align, press it. Same concept, and now we see that they're base aligned, so we're looking for zone coverage. We see that what the safeties are doing. You see that he goes into a zone, so we know that in a cover 3 coverage, so we know he can hit our out to the opposite side of the field of the safety. Okay, so we have that 2-man under. We see that. Hold on one second, guys. Shoot. Base line. You see that the corners are not inside, so we're reading man coverage pre-snap. We see that. We can kind of think that it's 2-man under. And then once we see what the safeties are doing, so we look at the safeties, we see they flow out, we look at the corners, they're in man coverage, and we know we have our motion snap fade. Okay? That's what I wanted to mainly show. Now let's go to our cover 2 zone. You see that they're base aligned. Shoot. So you see here, we're base aligned, so they're inside a little bit. Just for this video, because I think cover 2 sync's better than cover 2. So I'm going to put them in yellows on the outside. But it's still, basically I'm creating cover 2 sync. So imagine it's cover 2 sync here, and I'm reading the safeties pre-snap. I see that they go into a zone, I see this, and then I can check down into my drag. Because I saw that the corners on the outside were in zones on the out. Okay? The last coverage I want to go over is cover 4. So we can go to cover 4 here. In base align, we're going to press. And you see this. So now we see that they're base align pressed again, so it's probably a cover 4 or a cover 3. Just in my head, that's what I'll be thinking. Motion snap in. I see that both of them go back, so I think it's a cover 2, but I checked my out anyway, and they have a purple over there, which means that the out is effectively open. Okay. And then the last, I actually forgot to say this one. I want to read a man blitz, or I want to read a zone blitz, so we're just going to set one up here. So this is going to get 2 guys free. And we're just going to set some zones up. So a lot of things, you'll see a lot of this. Something like this, and put a safety in a deep blue here. So something kind of like this. So this is a basic zone blitz. Okay. So we read pre-snap. We're going to base align. We're going to press. We see that they're in. Immediately we think zone. We see that there's a safety. Okay, so we know that we have, a lot of our routes are going to be open against the zone blitz, but more than likely our flat routes, what we want to hit there. So, and then the last thing I want to go over is cover 0. So again, here's this. Reading our safeties. We see the safeties crash down. We look down there in man coverage. We know we have our fade. Okay. So that's the basics of reading defensive coverages post-snap. A link to the full article will be below, I believe. I might put an annotation. I'm not sure yet. Hopefully you guys have been liking the annotations lately in the videos. Also, make sure that you guys check the video to my left, as it's going to give you the previous video of Madden 25 training camp, and make sure you check the video to my right, as it's going to have a random video. And the bottom right, there's also another video there. I think it's our 4-3 defensive breakdown from the 4-3 playbook. Also, our channel link should be in the bottom left. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you click on that channel link if you're new. If you guys missed the last video, make sure you click on the upper hand left link. If you guys wanting another video to check out, make sure you check out one of the other 2 videos on the right side of the screen. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys learned something from today's video, and we're going to expand on it next time in Madden 25 Training Camp. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.